Bones first. Do you consider him a draft dodger?
I don't consider him so much a draft dodger as I feel that the system was so wrong that certain Americans could evade their responsibilities to serve the country. We should have we finally did, as you know, we went to the all-volunteer force.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Someone wants to serve, they should be able to. And by the way, that is now down to about 1 or 2% of the American public.
But isn't it kind of galling?
So, Chris, maybe a little nuance there.
Yeah, I mean, look, is there any love lost between Donald Trump and John McCain? No. Does John McCain, I think, still feel some level of anger related to Donald Trump's comments in July 2015 that he was not a real war hero? He liked his war heroes not captured? Yes, of course. I mean, think about it in your own life.
But I also think John McCain, as his daughter says, his bigger challenges he's up against right now.
Exactly. And he is indicting. Remember the context, by the way. This comment was on C-SPAN as related to the Vietnam War.
Yes, exactly.
This was not a conversation about current issues, and he went back to that.
That's right.
I think he has an issue with that as someone who served for a long time. And lost a significant portion. He can't raise his hands above his arms above his shoulders. It's more about the system there that Donald Trump was able, in his mind, I think, to game than it's about Donald Trump in particular.
Jack Kingston, final question. One word answer, because I know you're good at that. Tax reform passed at the president's desk by the end of the year.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to hold you to it, as I always do, and then you'll squirrel out of it. Great to see you guys. I appreciate it.
$4,000 raise per family.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Coming
Kate.
up for us, the $32 million Bill O'Reilly bombshell. A new report says the fired Fox News host settled a sexual harassment claim that is for a stunning sum of money before the network re-signed him, extended his contract. What's this about? New details, new outrage ahead. A staggering $32 million secret settlement. That's the price former Fox News star Bill O'Reilly reportedly agreed to pay after his former colleague, Lise Wheel, her claim of sexual misconduct against him. That's according to the New York Times. O'Reilly denies any wrongdoing. Here's what is also raising eyebrows right now. A month after that settlement, the network renewed O'Reilly's contract, even raising his salary. CNN's senior media correspondent Brian Stelter is here with me now. He's, of course, also the host of Reliable Sources. The details coming out are pretty eye-popping. I mean, just the numbers involved, Brian. And also putting under the microscope, once again, Fox News in this post-Harvey Weinstein world. What do you make of this?
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein is accused of far worse crimes than Bill O'Reilly has been accused of. But think about this. Harvey Weinstein sometimes paid $50,000 or $100,000 to women who accused him of harassment. Here's Bill O'Reilly paying $32 million. It's just a stunning number. Yeah. I think the whole TV industry is trying to get its head around how could anyone pay this much money to an accuser? What could have possibly happened? What could this possibly have been about? Now, according to the New York Times, Wheel was going to sue him for sexual harassment and non-consensual sexual relationship claims. So that would imply something worse than just harassment. And it was apparently happening over the course of many years. But she brought back her claims. She said she has no claims against O'Reilly now that they have settled.
But O'Reilly, staying true to form, he is fighting this.
Yes, he is saying this is a plot to take him down. Here's a part of what he said to the New York Times.
It's horrible what I went through. Horrible what my family went through. This is crap. And you know it. It's politically and financially motivated. And we can prove it with shocking information.
He's saying he's the victim. He's saying there's a conspiracy to try to take him down. He's blaming the New York Times, saying they're out to get him. He says CNN's part of the conspiracy, all trying to ensure he's never back on television.
Well,
take that what you will.
And being back on TV is actually one of the things that has a lot of people talking. Gretchen Carlson, you spoke to her this week, and she is the former Fox News host that deserves a lot of the credit for having the strength and courage to come forward and speak about what happened with Roger Ailes. To start this conversation, the fact that they would put him on TV after this kind of a settlement, she said, I think she told you it was horrifying and outrageous.
Because just a month ago, he was back on Sean Hannity's show on Fox.
And that's exactly right.
That's
Megyn
right.
Kelly is also speaking out now, along with Juliette Huddy. She said, in the interview with Megyn, she's terrified of the network, right?
Yes, she still is, she says. This is because Juliet Huddy is one of the women who had accused Ailes of harassment privately. She reached a settlement deal, so she's limited in what she can say about O'Reilly and Fox. But here's what she did say this morning.
You got to think about your future. And some people just want to make it go away and just move on with their lives.
Are you scared today?
I'm terrified. I'm actually terrified, and I don't know why I'm about to cry, but it's difficult. It's difficult. I think people have regrets. I think people have regrets when they sign non-disclosure agreements. I would imagine that they do. I think it's something that you grapple with when you're going through it, and then you think it's the best move to make, but it's not necessarily the best move.
Interesting. She's one of the women, like I said, who signed this settlement, this NDA, which means she can't really talk about what she says happened with Bill O'Reilly and Fox News. You hear some regret in her voice about that. I think what we're seeing, Kate, we're seeing a spotlight being shown right now on sexual harassment in the workplace,
yes,
but also on what companies do to try to keep it quiet through these NDAs, through these secret settlements. The fact that these are coming to light, I think it's providing some long overdue exposure into how this works or doesn't work.
It's something that Gretchen Carlson is definitely speaking out about a lot, and coming to light with the Harvey Weinstein situation. Different sides of the country, and having a very similar conversation right now.
You're right. Yeah.
Great to see you, Brian.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. This is Long From Over. You can guess that. Coming up, ISIS is on the run after U.S.-backed forces take back their de facto capital city. So where is the terror group's leader right now? And where does the fight head next? We're going to go live to the new front line. A major victory against ISIS. American-backed forces have recaptured Syria's largest oil field from the terror group. It's the latest in a series of very big losses for ISIS. The U.S. coalition is now in a city in eastern Syria. CNN senior international correspondent Nick Payton-Walsh traveled close to the front line. He's joining me now live from the Iraq-Syria border. Nick, what did you see on that new front line?
Well, you're right, Kate. I mean, at this point, obviously, they've lost Raqqa in Syria and Mosul in Iraq, their key cities. And they're down to one small holdout in a pocket of Deir ez-Zor and parts of the Euphrates River Valley, ISIS, that is. So they're kind of, to some degree, a spent force in terms of the territory that they hold. But interestingly enough, it's what comes in their wake. Now, you mentioned the US-backed SDF Kurdish forces taking that oil field, and that's part of them, as you said, pushing ISIS back into smaller territory. But it comes at a cost or a complication at least, because the SDF fighters we spoke to about that oil field said, well, we have the right to take that, frankly, and hold it because we lost people in that particular fight. But it's an oil field that the Syrian regime are quite covetous of. They want it too, and they're very nearby.